Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Aron is finally speaking out about the collapse of AMC stock. What does he have to say? And what's happening with AMC stock today? That's what we're going to get into here in this video. AMC stock down 1.67%. Is there a larger, broader reason for this, or are we just selling off? We'll go over everything you need to know here in this video. We will go over the data that came out today, and I think you need to know that as well. Hit that like button as well as subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. So first up, we're going to get into the meat and bones of this video right away. AMC's CEO bemoans painful stock slide amid ludicrously anemic box office. That's the headline of this article from MarketWatch. And he says, so painful. 4 years after the Rona, the industry-wide box office is still ludicrously anemic, and AMC stock has slid to $4.48 per share. Difficult to think about anything other than guiding AMC back in these challenging times, but greatness deserves praise. Sixers Joel Embiid, 70 points, 70. In reference to the game last night where he apparently had 70 points during that game. I believe that was a record for the team. Nonetheless, who cares about that? AMC stock is at $4.48 per share. Aron, for whatever reason, it appears as if thinks this is because of a ludicrously anemic box office, when I think it's pretty obvious that's going to have some effect, right? The fact that you're not getting blockbusters is definitely not great. It's definitely not helping things. But the biggest thing that has pushed AMC stock down is the constant dilution for really no reason. This has been dilution that has not changed AMC's fundamentals. See, there's a big difference between dilution that fundamentally changes things, that makes things better for a company, and then there's dilution that does not, that literally does nothing and, you know, erodes shareholder values. And the big difference there is whether or not you're diluting on the high or the low, because it's actually pretty simple, right? Buy low, sell high. Well, in the case of most companies, companies that don't do buybacks, they're not buying stock, but from time to time they can sell some stock. Aron, AMC has sold a lot of stock. Seems like they never do it on a high note, right? Even more so recently, all the dilution we have seen has come at basically 52-week lows, all-time lows for that matter. And that is not exactly when you want to be selling stock, right? So that's the main reason why AMC stock is in the $4 range. It seems like Aron believes it's because of an anemic box office. I think this post, beyond anything else, really just tells me Aron is coming to the reality that he does not have a choice, that he has to give shareholders a commitment that he will not be diluting them for a period of time. This is something I've talked about for a while. This is the only lever that AMC can pull to cause the stock to go higher in a substantial way. If you raise guidance, sure, that's fine, that's dandy, but it's not going to cause AMC stock to, you know, rally substantially higher when there's always this fear of dilution right around the corner. The only, and I mean only thing Aron can do, short of a miracle, is say, we're not going to dilute shareholders anymore for a period of time. And that would get the stock to rally. It worked in 2022, and I'm sure it would work again in 2024. So I personally believe we are one step closer to actually getting that announcement. So when that announcement does come, I will get a lot more bullish on AMC stock. Right now, it's not like I'm bearish with the stock sitting at these multi-year lows, but I'm not super enthusiastic about a near-term rally. I think the second half of 2024 is going to look a lot stronger than the first half of the year, but still, it's just not, you know, potentially going to do much for the first half of the year. And the second half of the year, I believe it's going to be able to do a lot more because more capital coming into our market should boost AMC. Obviously, that depends whether or not we get more dilution. If we get more dilution, then it's really not going to matter what kind of capital comes into our markets. AMC stock still will sell off at that point. So there's obviously variables here, but I think that, broadly speaking, is going to be a positive for AMC stock. And I do believe by the second half of the year, Aron, AMC, they're going to be forced to not dilute shareholders anymore. Because let's be honest, if you dilute shareholders right now, you can't, right? The stock's going to fall to $2 per share. And then it's good luck trying to get the stock up from $2 per share. $4, $5, $6 per share is already hard enough, but if you fall to like $2 per share, then you're in a really bad situation. So I do think this is a first step towards giving shareholders, ultimately giving the stock what it needs, and that is a commitment to not diluting shareholders. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section if you are under that assumption as well. Now, here on the day today, we did not have much for economic data besides this Richmond Fed manufacturing data. It came in line with expectations. So -15 was the estimate, and you came in at -15. So it's bad, but it's just in line with what the expectation was. So the markets didn't see it as any more bad than it otherwise would have been. Now, Richmond Fed manufacturing shipments came in a little bit better than estimates at -15. The estimate there was -20. Now, coming throughout the rest of this week is when you're going to get more important economic data, like GDP and durable goods, PCE on Friday, as well as personal income and personal spending, which will come out on Friday as well. So the rest of this week from, tonight through Friday is going to be very volatile. Now, tonight you are going to get some earnings. So earnings coming tonight, going to be Netflix. Netflix is your first Magnificent Seven stock, and it's going to be the first stock that can broadly affect the markets, that can cause a sell-off in the broader markets and the broader like SPY or triple Q ETF. So that's definitely one to be watching. And then tomorrow you're going to have Tesla. Same story there. I think Tesla's a little bit more independent, just considering Tesla's down 50% from all-time highs. Magnificent Seven stocks are either trading at all-time highs or 52-week highs right now. So Tesla is really a standout underperformer there. So I don't think it's going to affect the markets all too much what Tesla does report, but Netflix definitely does carry quite a bit of weight in the markets. And I mean, if people are canceling their Netflix subscription that costs $10, $14 a month, whatever it is these days, I don't even know, then people are obviously not doing so good, and that would be a massive problem. So that's going to cause a lot of volatility coming here in after hours. Now, 10-year treasury yields basically just rebounding from what you've seen yesterday. 10-year treasury yields up about 5.5 basis points today, following yesterday's decline of about 5 basis points. Over the past 2 days, you really haven't done much, and that was yesterday and now today. So not a lot going on there. As far as the Atlanta Fed GDP Now tracker, we're still estimating 2.4% GDP for Q4, so nothing has also changed there as well. If we take a look at stock twits and what the sentiment gauges look like here for AMC stock, give this a bit of a second to refresh. AMC stock currently down about 2% with a market cap of $894.59 million. You can see sentiment is bearish at 34, not looking so good. Message volume is at 44, which is actually an improvement from yesterday's 25, so that's pretty interesting. Participation ratio is sitting at normal, a little bit above normal at 52. I would say net that is a positive. Sentiment can vary day to day. No surprise, sentiment is bearish today when the stock is down 2%. Message volume, though, being at 44 is a little bit better than yesterday's number, again at 25. So a little bit of an improvement there. I really can't be too upset with that, but still not exactly where you want to be after all. You want to see that a little bit better. Now, Netflix going to be reporting earnings today and after hours, one of the most active stocks on StockTwits. And Netflix has just had a lot of volatility in earnings reports over the past 2 years or so. So we're going to take a look at what the gauges are here. And wow, yeah, sentiment extremely bullish at 99. Message volume extremely high at 100, and participation ratio high at 71. Even though the stock is pretty flat on the day, people are pretty bullish heading into Netflix earnings, which could be seen perversely as a negative. If everyone is positive, well, maybe that means the stock could actually fall. I will tell you, expectations are pretty high. The stock is pricing in 9 to 10%. So there are very high expectations for their earnings, right? The stock's expected to move a lot. So if it doesn't move a lot, then a lot of people are going to get, washed out on those options. So be a little bit careful when it comes to Netflix earnings themselves. You do have short interest percentage of free flow at 9.46%, $106.22 million worth of short positions currently on AMC Stock. Days to cover 1.24, 23.71 million shares currently sold short. Shares out on loan 19.36 million, cost to borrow 1.06%, utilization of 34.29%, and a short score of 56.38 out of 100. Cost to borrow fees spiking up just a little bit today, nothing obviously to write home about. You do have cost to borrow max at about 4.32% at the time of recording this video. So a little bit better, a little bit of a spike there, but still, nothing too crazy. We don't have any hedge fund or institutional option activity that is unusual that is being flagged here on the day today so far. And if we take a look at the overall numbers for the day today, volume is about 61% to the call side and 39% to the put side. So about a 2-to-1 ratio here for calls relative to puts. So there you have that. We'll take a look at the stock tracker data as well. Lots of calls going out the money today. Unfortunately, you had 19,000 calls in the money yesterday. Now you only have about 8,300 calls currently in the money. And if you're actually rounding here, you'd round down to 8,200. So a very low amount of calls that are actually in the money. Out the money calls at 77,619. In the money puts at 25,000. Out the money puts at 17,000. So lots of puts in the money, lots of calls going out the money. That's obviously going to contribute to a downside slide in AMC stock. That's exactly what we are seeing today. Now, the percentage of stocks above their 50-day moving average also declining today, about 2%. About 66% of stocks above their 50-day moving average, which is way off of where we were at the highs, right? At the highs back in late December, you were at 86% of stocks above their 50-day moving average. So you have fallen quite a bit. Not the most ideal situation overall that we are in for AMC stock. If we take a look at the 10 and the 2-year yield curve, you are inverting a little bit more over the past couple of days, which is probably why markets hit all-time highs. Typically, during this process, when you are actually inverted, that's not when the pain happens in the markets. That's not when the recession typically comes. It's when you actually start to uninvert is when the pain starts to come and the recession actually starts to hit. So let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. A quick look at AMC stock. You're at $4.38 per share. Yeah, and if earnings are not great today with Netflix, the markets are probably going to take a leg down lower coming tomorrow. You could see, let's go ahead and update the VIX here. The VIX is actually down about 2.2%, which I think the bulls would like that. But the S&P 500 trading still near all-time highs. I think markets are really waiting to see how these Netflix earnings come out. Are you seeing growth in Netflix? That's the big question. Growth or no growth? And that's probably going to be what decides the fate of Netflix stock here in after hours. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.